Go win, go win, go win, go win, go win, man, go win.
Let's start off in the NFC. Let's go to the 5 versus 4 matchup as Matthew Stafford and the 12-5 LA Rams are traveling to Carolina to take on Bryce Young and the 8-9 Carolina Panthers. It's a 4:30 p.m. kickoff on Fox. The over-under for this matchup is 46.5 points. And the Rams, that 10.5 points that they are favored by, that is the highest points that a road team has been favored by since 1970. So when I look at this matchup, these two teams faced off against one another in Week 13. The Panthers actually got the best of the Rams. The Panthers beat the Rams in Week 13, 31-28. And Bryce Young outplayed Matthew Stafford in that particular game. Matthew Stafford, he went 18 for 28. He threw for 243 passing yards. He had 2 touchdowns, but 3 turnovers. His passer rating was 85.9. Bryce Young, on the other hand, he went 15 for 20. He threw for 206 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. His passer rating was 147.1. So the Panthers beat the Rams in Week 13. Surprisingly, it was the biggest upset in Week 13 in that particular week. But let's start off with the LA Rams. Obviously, when it comes to the LA Rams, they are led by quarterback Matthew Stafford. This season, Matthew Stafford, 46 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 4,707 passing yards. He's completing 65% of his passes. And I'm looking at Matthew Stafford. He has 45 passing touchdowns and under 10 interceptions in a season. Only other quarterbacks to have those stats were Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. Rodgers did it twice. He did it in 2020 and in 2011. Brady also did it in 2007. Both Rodgers, who did it twice, and Brady won NFL MVP. So for me, Matthew Stafford is the NFL MVP. I believe Stafford is having arguably the best season of his career. 46 touchdowns. He leads quarterbacks in touchdown passes by a wide margin. And to me, he is the most prolific passer in the NFL right now. When you talk about quarterbacks who are great passers of the football from the pocket and pure pocket passers, Matthew Stafford is the best pure pocket passer currently in the NFL. And to me, he is the best quarterback this season in pro football. And so I know Drake May is having a great season with the New England Patriots. Christian McCaffrey's having a great season with the San Francisco 49ers. But Matthew Stafford is my NFL MVP, and he has been balling this season. He ain't alone, though. Davante Adams and his impact on this Rams team is very significant. I'm looking at Davante Adams, and I'm looking at the Rams with and without Davante this season. With Davante, the Rams are 11-3. Without Davante, they're 1-2. With Davante, their touchdown to interception ratio, which is Matthew Stafford, a stat from Stafford, is 37-5. Without Davante, it's 9-3. Their red zone touchdown percentage with Davante Adams is 67%. Without Davante Adams, it's 46%. And so we know how dynamic the Rams are as an offense with Puka Nacua and Davante Adams as their receivers. But Davante Adams specifically, he helps the Rams in the red zone. He's a great red zone target for Matthew Stafford. Whenever the Rams are inside the red zone, Stafford is looking for Tay. And Devontae Adams is a touchdown machine. Puka Nacua is their best receiver and one of the best receivers in pro football. And I've seen Puka Nacua make some catches this season that were unbelievable. I think this year, as great as Justin Jefferson is and Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua had a better season than JJ and Jamar Chase. Smith and Jigba also deserves to be in that conversation with Puka Nacua, but I think Puka Nacua has had a great season as the number one receiver within this Rams offense. And I'm looking at the Rams overall as an offense. They are ranked first in passing yards. They average 268 passing yards per game, and they average 31 points per game. They average 404 total yards per game. That's ranked second. So we know with Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, and Devontae Adams, and with Sean McVay as their head coach and an offensive mind, the Rams are going to put up points. They are going to score points at an elite rate. On the flip side, the Carolina Panthers, from a defensive standpoint, they give up 123 rushing yards per game. That's ranked 20th in the NFL. And they give up 204 passing yards per game, which is ranked 15th. And so I think that Rams secondary, even though they played well against Matthew Stafford and the Rams in week 13, it's not going to happen again. I expect Matthew Stafford and the Rams offense to have a lot of success against that Panthers defense. And I think when it comes to the Panthers, they're 8-9 coming into this game. And if it were not for the Panthers being in the NFC South, they would have not been a playoff team. But I do believe that Dave Canales, Bryce Young, and the Panthers organization, they should be happy and excited because they made the playoffs. This was not a team that came into the season with high expectations. So if you are a Panthers fan, if you are Dave Canales or Bryce Young or David Tepper, the owner, you should just be happy that you're in the playoffs because nobody had high expectations for the Carolina Panthers coming into the season. And the Panthers had some signature wins this year. They beat the Packers. They beat the Rams. So the Panthers have won some meaningful football games this year, but they did not end the season well. They lost to the Seahawks in week 17, 27-10. They lost week 18 against the Bucks, 16-14. And the only reason why the Panthers were able to make the playoffs was because the Falcons beat the Saints. Remember, coming into week 18, the Panthers were going up against the Buccaneers, and had the Panthers beat the Bucks, the outcome of the Falcons-Saints game would not have mattered. But because the Panthers lost to the Buccaneers, they had to scoreboard watch and watch the Saints-Falcons game. And had the Saints beat the Falcons, then the Buccaneers would have made the playoffs in the NFC South. But because of the NFC South being the worst division in pro football, it was beneficial for the Carolina Panthers, and they were able to get in. But when I look at the Carolina Panthers overall as a team, they actually have this is since the 1970 merger, the worst point differential by a division winner. They were a minus 69 this year. Other teams that had terrible point differential were the 2010 Seattle Seahawks and the 2011 Broncos. Seahawks were a minus 97. Broncos were a minus 81. Ironically, the Seahawks and the Broncos both won their wild card games. So maybe the Panthers can somehow shock the world and beat the Rams. But we're going to see. And when I look at the Panthers overall as a team, right, I'm looking at Bryce Young. Bryce Young this year, 23 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 3,011 passing yards. He completed 64% of his passes. But overall, Bryce Young, to me, still has more to prove. I still don't believe Bryce Young is a quarterback that you can build your franchise around. I have questions about Bryce Young. There are other quarterbacks who have proven more than Bryce Young has. I think Jordan Love has proven more with the Packers than Bryce Young has with the Panthers. I think C.J. Stroud has proven more with the Texans than Bryce Young has with the Panthers. I believe in 1 year, Jaden Daniels proved more with the Commanders than Bryce Young proved with the Panthers. And even Bo Nix and Caleb Williams have shown flashes as well at the quarterback position. I have questions about Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young is very inconsistent at the quarterback position. And I'm afraid if the Panthers were somehow able to pull off an upset and shock the world and beat the Rams, the Panthers organization would convince themselves to give Bryce Young a big contract. And I don't think he's earned a huge payday yet. Now, I would bring back Bryce Young for his, what would it be? I guess it'd be his 4th-year option, but I'm not going to give him franchise quarterback money yet. He still has more to prove in that department. And overall, when I look at the Panthers as a football team, their best player is Rico Dowdle, their running back, but they don't really have any proven skill position players. I like McMillan. He's a pretty good receiver. But besides that, I really don't see anybody within their offense that's an elite skill position player. So, out of all the wild card games this weekend, I think this game is the most obvious and easiest game to predict. I'm rolling with Matthew Stafford and the LA Rams to beat Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. Rams 34, Panthers 17.